What's up? I'm John. This is Kasai.
Yo.
And I guess we're going to shed a little light on the Full Metal Alchemist movie. Just seen it. And because I like Full Metal Alchemist so much, so this guy right here, I just want to express how I feel about it. Because, you know, Full Metal Alchemist is one of those animes besides Dragon Ball Z, Gundam, and you know, basically the real, what I would consider real mainstream. I consider Full Metal Alchemist to be, for me, like my silver age of animes. Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, the freaking anime with the samurai armor comes on the niggas. I forgot that fucking name of that shit. Ronin Warriors, I consider that to be like golden age anime for me. This guy Full Metal Alchemist is probably his golden age anime. You know, it's his first generation of it. So Full Metal Alchemist is like second generation for me. But anyway, let's start off with the good stuff. What I liked from the movie. Costume design. Costume design was fucking cool. I like the costume designs. Even though the costumes looked a little cheap, even though the stuff looked a little cheap, I liked it. Characters look like how they fairly look. You know, there might be some complaints for me. I thought Lust's tits were a little too small, but that's just me being an Edo Senni. Mustang looked okay. I think his hair wasn't. If you look at how he looks, how he's drawn, his hair is more neat. You know, he was looking more like how he looked in the Ishbalan War, like after a battle. His hair was too ruffled. They made him look too gritty. I think he's supposed to just look like a fine older gentleman, and his personality is gritty. They just OD wanted him to look gritty. The girl, the blonde chick, Hawk, looked. There's a scene where, you know, when they're shooting the mannequins, where she's like holding a gun and she got the blue earring and everything. That shit kind of like was crazy, because even though she's Japanese and she's not European, she fucking looked like her in that scene. That shit was kind of crazy. Winry, I'm flabbergasted how they made her hairstyle look like the hairstyle. We all know she's not blonde, and we know that they didn't make her blonde because the Elric's already blonde, and you can't have too much blonde characters. I think that's what they were going for. Like, oh, it's too much fucking blonde people. I guess they didn't want to be Nazis. Ed looked okay. Probably would have got a shorter and skinnier teenager to do him, but he was pretty much alright. The CGI metal suit looks cool at sometimes, and then it looks like PlayStation 4 graphics at other times, but that's basically Japanese CGI. I don't know how else to explain that. They don't have as much money as we do, even though Warner Brothers did make the movie. So their movies aren't going to look as cool as ours. And that's not to say, you know, that's not to be a dick, but it's just a fact. Hollywood is the top of the movie chain, and it's going to be very hard for other country movie studios to compete with Hollywood. And I think Hollywood, even if they could compete with Hollywood, you still got to go through Hollywood to make your movie look dope, and they probably just don't have the cash for it, or they probably just don't have the permission. I don't know how that shit goes. But besides that, the sets looked okay. CGI for the alchemy was pretty fucking bad, but you know, I suspend my disbelief for that, because once again, it's a Japanese movie. Their movie technology isn't as good as ours. Now, their other technology that they have over there is probably way better, but their movie technology, for some reason, has come up short. Now to the bad things. That's literally what I liked about the movie. The story is discombobulated.
Thank you, Dr. Marco.
Hold on, we're gonna get there. I'm just saying the story as I was saying, the story is discombobulated, in my opinion. I think this was a cash grab. Like they, uh, Warner Brothers and their cash grabs. That's something I would like to talk about when it comes to like the DC movies as well. Warner Brothers is just out to grab the cash, and I think people need to realize that shit. Especially if you watch this movie, you can realize Warner Brothers is out to grab the fucking cash. The story is discombobulated. I didn't like the fact that Tucker was used as a pawn. I didn't like the fact that Dr. Marco was taken out of the equation. I didn't like the fact that there was no implementation of SCAR, yet they mentioned the East Violent War. This is everything bad with the movie. Like this is where the plot is fucked up. I didn't like the fact that Colonel Mustang just didn't burn this bitch to death and and her Philosopher's Stone got used out. That's like I said, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this, man. No mention of Hohenheim. The truth was cool. That's another good thing. I forgot about that. The truth was kind of cool. Even though we missed the smile, when it talks and shit. I wish they would have added that because it adds the creepiness. And another thing is, I think the truth is sort of like this Lovecraftian thing. That's how I feel when I watch the anime. That's how the manga looks. From when I remember, I used to look at the early scans of the manga when like information was coming out about father and things like that. I remember when that shit was dropping and people were like, "Who the fuck is this little kid? Who the fuck is this character?" So it has the thing about Fullmetal Alchemist is a depressing story. You don't really get the bittersweet ending until the actual end. There's no happiness until the end of the story. Fullmetal Alchemist is very depressing. Fullmetal Alchemist is very sad. Fullmetal Alchemist is very dark. And we didn't get that. We got a Fullmetal Alchemist Marvel movie, so to speak. And that's not to say I don't like Marvel movies. I'm just saying Fullmetal Alchemist is a sad story. It's sort of a coming to age story as well. It's sort of a redemption story. And I don't feel like they captured that. As well as it being a redemption story and I feel a coming of age story, Fullmetal Alchemist is also a mystery. While the brothers are trying to find out how to make a Philosopher's Stone, they accidentally find themselves in the middle of one of the biggest fucking conspiracies they could ever find themselves in. This has to deal with how dark alchemy really is. What happens when you use alchemy in the wrong way. And if you know the actual story and what goes on with it, you know that everything that's going on, the true main antagonist, everything he did is not what he was supposed to do. And the protagonist actually makes the right decision and does what he's supposed to do, and that's why they end up having a good ending for the good guys. But yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is very dark. Fullmetal Alchemist is very depressing. I didn't get a lot of those tones. There wasn't too much character development to make me feel sad for the death of Major Hughes. It was just that one scene with him and the Colonel talking, and it still wasn't enough to actually show a type of bond they had. I mean, if they probably would have had some Game of Thrones style dialogue where they actually talk about an actual memory in the Ishvalan War, then maybe I think the character development would have been a little better. But that's my opinion. But the fact is that the character development was kind of trash. Even the character development between Rinri and Ed, it was okay. The part where Ed is beating Al, have their little scuffle or whatever, that was okay as well. It wasn't as touching. And I think and another thing is the music. The music is trash. When you have an anime that has great music, and then the film has what I feel subpar music, it's not good because what actually helps a movie flow is the music. Music is very important to a film. It sets tone, and it also helps shit ride out. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what I'm saying, watch good films such as The Godfather. Watch films like I said, The Godfather, Dark Knight, fucking what's that other the fucking Prestige, um, any fucking good film you ever heard of, fucking Saving Private Ryan. Music and sound is very important in films, just as important as dialogue. And I think the music in the film wasn't very good. General Hakuro, that's all I have to say about that. Trash. Because if you look at the General Hakuro, we fucking looked him up, and you look at his picture, how he's drawn, very fucking different from the fucking faggot they had playing him. And that's no disrespect to the actor, but that actor, why I choose him to play such a character that looks so stern when you look at his illustration. Yeah, man. A lot of things bad with the film, man. A lot of things bad. I think the Rurouni Kenshin films are a way better adaptation than these. And if they're gonna go with a sequel to this, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do because they already did so much damage. I think it should just stop. I think they should just quit while they're ahead, and not even reboot the shit because I don't know. Just don't try it again. And honestly, I feel like Full Metal Alchemist was one of the animes / manga that could have been made. You know, it's not like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto where shit is too outrageous. Full Metal Alchemist, some characters do have outrageous hairstyles, but mostly everybody's drawn with realistic hairstyles. And no Major Armstrong either. That's another problem. That shit just popped in right now. Like, we didn't even have Major Armstrong, Ross, anything was just, I don't know, man. Everything was just fucking crazy. So I feel like I explained a couple things. I probably missed a lot. There were good things with the movie, like I said. Set design was cool. The costume designs were cool. The acting was okay. Wasn't as good as how we do it here in the States, but the acting was fine. And it wasn't as good as I've seen in other Japanese movies, man. Like, the acting in Outrage is way better. You know, if you ever seen Outrage is a good fucking movie. Even though there's the black dude in Outrage, the black U.S. Embassy guy, he was a little trash. But besides him, the acting in Outrage is pretty good. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about Fullmetal Alchemist, the movie. Please leave your fucking thoughts. Please leave your fucking comments. Tell me what you fucking think. And have a good one, you fucking filthy animals.
Shit is trash.